Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, we're going to look at bay boats in the 20-foot to 22-foot class. When an angler wants to fish the skinny water of the flats, deep in the backcountry, and on a calm day venture past the inlet for some nearshore action, a bay boat in the 20 to 22-foot class is more than up to the task. Affordable and easy to operate, a mid-sized outboard gives this class plenty of performance, and the design of the hulls makes running in choppy conditions comfortable and dry. Some key features to look for in this class of bay boats are: a recessed casting platform gives you the secure feeling of standing in the boat instead of on it. A functional console design allows you an unobstructed view while sitting or standing and enough room for all of your flush-mounted electronics. Multiple live wells allows access to live bait from anywhere on the boat and keep different types of bait separated. A snag-free casting deck is a must to keep you from missing that fish of a lifetime. Wide gunnels with rod storage below make it easier to walk from the bow to the stern and keep rods safely stowed when not in use. Comfortable helm seating allows you to fish longer with less fatigue at the end of the day. A raised sight fishing platform allows anglers to see much further, making it easier to spot fish and structure above and below the water. In-deck storage allows anglers to keep the decks free of gear and other items that could clutter fishing space. If you plan on entering any tournaments, a large release well will be necessary to keep your winning catch alive for weigh-in. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they feature 3 boats that can fish the flats for tailing redfish, stock snook patrolling the mangroves, and battle tarpon at the inlet. They are the Skeeter SX210 Bay, with an overall length of 21 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 2 inches, and max horsepower rating of 200. The Blazer 675 Ultimate Bay, with an overall length of 22 feet, a beam of 8 feet 4 inches, and max horsepower rating of 250. And the Blue Wave 2200 Pure Bay, with an overall length of 21 feet 4 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and max horsepower rating of 250. They'll be conducting test drives and reviewing key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Welcome to this episode of Best Boat. I'm Dave East, boating editor of Florida Sportsman Magazine.
And I'm Rick Riles, program director of Florida Sportsman Radio.
Today we've brought 3 boats. They're similar, 22-foot bay boats, but that's about where it ends, is in the size range, because everything else about these boats is totally different.
Not only did we bring 3 boats like we had never seen before, we brought 3 that were totally independent of each other. None of these boats do the exact same things as their best feature.
Well, we're going to start off with the sleekest of the 3. I guess the only way to describe it would be the Blazer Bay. It looks a lot like a bass boat. The heritage is from the bass boat market. It's got a pad like a bass boat, it has speeds like a bass boat, it has the comfortable seating like a bass boat, but everything about this boat says take it out in the bay.
Well, you're right, and it's more of a hybrid between a flats and a bay boat. It's got all the advantages of a flats boat. It floats super skinny, plenty of gunnel room to walk, big casting platform, and yeah, you have no problem if it's 10 miles to your next flat across open water.
Well, also you've seen us do the Skeeter before, but not this one. This is a brand new boat. Actually, this is the first boat that Skeeter put on the water of this new design. She's 21 foot, 6 inches, totally new design, new hull, new cap, new console. It's an awesome boat, but it's a package boat. And what I mean by that is you don't have to make any decisions. You can go from the dealership to the gas station, right to the boat ramp.
If you're a new boat owner, there's a ton of intimidating decisions the Skeeter takes totally away from you. They're guys that have done it for a living for decades, say this is the best layout for this size boat. Whoa, did they come close to it, and it comes that way, finished, ready to go.
Well, the last boat that we brought, here again, you've seen Blue Wave on the show before, but not like this. You know, the guys out in Texas, where Blue Wave is very, very strong, they know what a riser is. Us Florida boys, we didn't know what a riser is. We know what a tower is because you see them on the West Coast. But this riser gives the boat an elevated position to drive from and sit when you're going. It's really cool.
It's a fly bridge is what it is. I'm telling you, I'm getting up on my fly bridge. I love it. It increases your vision so much. We've talked about it on so many episodes, but every inch you get off of the deck of that boat, you can see further and deeper and further and deeper and further and deeper. I love driving that Blue Wave. Let's look at them individually. They've each got a lot to love.
Well, they really do, and I'm sure that one of them is going to fit the lifestyle that you want, but they are drastically different, but I'm glad that they have such an array of features and stuff to choose from because it's really going to separate this episode away from others.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by Marine Customs Unlimited. You dream it, we build it. We do it all. Custom fiberglass repair, upholstery and canvas work, custom dash panels, specializing in insurance claims, Suzuki and Yamaha sales and service. We do it all. One-stop boat shop, home of fantastic plastics and the fiberglass shop. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we're featuring bay boats in the 20 to 22 foot class.
All right, now let's take a look at the Skeeter SX210.
You know what this boat does? Takes so many decisions out of the boat buyer's process. If you want a bay boat, you don't really understand, you haven't had one before, you don't know if you want this prop, you don't know if you want that cooler, dude, they got the whole boat lined up. It goes from the factory to the gas station, to the ramp, you're ready to go.
Well, you can tell with the backing of a company like Yamaha that owns Skeeter, they put some serious assets into coming up with this design. This isn't just something that was thrown together. A lot of thought went into this boat. Just the overall layout of the boat, the number of rod holders, I'm blown away. All this stuff is standard. You really don't need to add anything to this boat. I mean, it is ready to go.
Look at this recessed casting platform. You know what a nut I am about us old guys having to get up on casting platforms. They recessed that one. You'd be surprised at how much better your balance feels when you're not right at that line of walking off the side of the boat.
Well, once you get up on top of that platform and you start opening up these hatches, you're going to notice, well, like we've seen on other boats that Skeeter builds, their compartments are rotomolded. With the rotomolded, I mean, you know how tough that stuff is. You can drop anything heavy in there. It actually will protect better too because it's soft. I mean, it's plastic. So if you put a reel in there, it's not going to take the abuse of bouncing up against a hard piece of gel cover.
I understand. Let's jump in the boat and look at some of the stuff we love.
Okay. All right, wait just one second. Before we move after this deck, I want to cover one more thing. Another thing about the rotomolded compartments that are underneath there, you know, I love to dive. And this is a boat that can do some light offshore duty during mini season or even regular lobster season. I can put my full-size aluminum tank down here, all my dive gear. Now this becomes a dive boat.
I tell you what, I would never been smart enough to talk about this thing being a complete package just the way it comes. I'm certainly not smart enough to recess that casting platform, but I'm awfully glad they did. It's a lot more stable standing up there. Dave, come back to the console. This is their brand new console, and there's a reason why they made the changes they did.
Well, under this seat right here is another live well in the boat, and what I love about it's got a clear lid, but the clear lid has a nice heavy gasket, so no water's going to splash out if you get in rough conditions. And then you can drop this cushion down, and you have another hatch that opens in the back, and you got total access to all your wiring. And you know the boat builder in me, I always like to dig around and see how they build stuff. The wiring under this console is top shelf. Well, a nice touch, everything's powder coated. Normally that would be a huge upgrade to any other boat manufacturer out there, but the leaning post, the handles, and the amount of rod racks that they have on this boat, it is awesome because you're going to carry this many rods if you're going to go out and fish the bay. They've given you a place to put all of your stuff right at your hand.
The magic number you're trying to count up, 14, Dave. There's 14 rod holders in this little area right here. You can carry everything you want to fish for at one time.
How many times have you sat on a leaning post? You go a little bit forward and the cushion flips forward.
Sure.
Right. Well, this Skeeter has a patent pending hatch on the back, and it really is so simple to use, and you look at it, you're like, wow, man, why didn't I figure that out? But it is an absolute secure way to latch this cushion in place.
So you hop on, you hop off, flip of the finger, you can bring it forward if you want to. Let me tell you something, you better turn around. That console, big area. You know how much I love my big screens. Very solid. If you're gonna buy a new Skeeter, this is what the console is gonna be shaped like. They thought it out, they're done with it, this is how it comes.
Well, it's an all-new design, and in fact, it's going to be across the board on all of their bay boats because they really put a lot of function into it. And like you said, the area that you can put two big 14-inch screens here, you're normally not going to see that on a boat that's 21 feet, 6 inches long.
Yep, they thought out everything. Where the throttle should be, your steering wheel, tilt steering. They've maximized their space. Did a really nice job with the console.
The aft casting deck is the size it needs to be for two anglers, but it doesn't overpower the boat.
Talk about maximum use of space, 30-gallon live well, 17-gallon live well up forward. You can either segregate your fish from your baits, or you got two people live bait fishing at the same time, you don't have to walk to the other end of the boat to get a bait.
Well, we've seen the flip-up seats before under a lot of casting deck to the bay boats, and they've incorporated them here because it just makes sense. It's a great place to sit. But another Skeeter exclusive, they have a torque transfer system, which it's a big way of saying their transom is grossly overbuilt with aluminum stringers. I mean, it can handle a much bigger motor than this 150, but that just speaks to the quality of how they put this boat together.
Speaking of that 150, how about 5 miles per gallon at cruise, okay? We already know the boat is less to buy. It's a lot less to operate with that kind of mileage.
Well, you know what? This might be the absolute perfect package for someone looking to get into the bay boat market, but doesn't really know a lot about it or hadn't done a whole lot of homework. This really makes the learning curve so much quicker.
If you're scared to make a decision on what kind of power, what kind of accessories, what kind of power pole, let Skeeter make it for you. Your boat's ready. Go pick it up.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by Fiberglass Florida. Premium products, wholesale prices.
Fiberglass Florida is a locally owned and operated company with locations in Rockledge and Stuart, Florida. Our knowledgeable staff will help you select from our diverse selection of fiberglass materials by the yard or by the roll. Epoxy, vinyl ester, and polyester resin, as well as high-density core materials. All grip paint in unlimited custom colors. Home to Open Water Concepts, a certified sea-deck fabricator specializing in fully customizable kits to suit your project needs. Fiberglass Florida. Premium products, wholesale prices.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we're featuring bay boats in the 20 to 22 foot class.
Okay, now we're going to take a look at the Blazer Bay. It's a 675 Ultimate Bay.
Where's the 675 come from?
Well, a lot of other builders use feet, they use centimeters. It's just a way to differentiate this boat from the rest of their line because they build a whole line of bay boats. I'm assuming they put this kind of name on it to make it stand out, and it absolutely does stand out from the rest of their boats.
It does stand out. What they've done is blend a bay boat and a flats boat. They did a lot of really neat things I like about flats boats. You can run the gunnels. They've got big flat gunnel surfaces. Big casting platform up front makes it real easy to fight a fish. But it doesn't have as much wetted surface as a bay boat does.
If you really want to go a little deeper into it, they've actually blended 3 boats because this boat has a bass boat bottom and bass boat performance. I've seen this boat run, it is fast.
It is quick, ain't no question about that. It'll fly, but you can cross open water in it. The whole reason for having a bay boat is being able to cross choppy water and still get shallow. This one does both those things really very well. Okay, this is a serious contender because it'll float very skinny and yet the ride is sweet. Let's jump on this boat and look at some stuff we really like. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Let me show you something before we get on the boat, okay? This casting platform is massive. It matches a much bigger boat than what it is. Here's the reason why. Reach under here and feel how far this lip extends out to give you more area to fish off of. Neat concept.
Well, not only do you get more area, before you can get wet in this boat, the water has to come up the hull and it has to clear that overhang. It's not going to happen. The overhang is going to knock it down.
That's got to help you stay drier.
All right, now let's check out the inside. Well, as soon as we jump up here, the first thing that comes to mind is this boat is for a guy who just cannot make up his mind. I don't know if I want a bass boat, don't know if I want a flats boat, don't know if I want a bay boat. You know what? He doesn't have to choose. This boat would do it all.
I don't agree. When I jump on this boat, I see fish on, okay? The reason I say that is boats like these are all about light tackle fishing. Fly fishing, big fish on light tackle, tarpon, bonefish, redfish. Every kind of fish you need to chase up and down a gunnel, you can do it in this boat. This boat is a fishing machine.
It absolutely is. I mean, your flats guys, they're going to want that. They're going to want the low cockpit. They're going to want the fact that they can store their rods underneath, even a big long fly rod. They're going to want to be able to run up and down the gunnels. A bass guy, he's going to want to sit up here with his buddy and flip jigs up into the trees. And a guy that wants to take the boat offshore is going to want this nice, big, wide deck to be able to clear that inlet on a decent day.
Take it from a novice fly fisherman, you need this whole unobstructed area up here or I'll get my fly line tangled on it. And the really cool part is, Dave, we got all this storage under here, so this is all functional space, but then it's so easy just to walk down the gunnels to get a midships or back to the back of the boat.
Well, the overall design of the boat is really, really sleek, and the console matches it. I mean, look at the console. This is what you normally don't see in a bay boat, but it's laid back like that. It's high enough where you can stand up and drive comfortably, but if you're sitting down, you can still see over it, and that's what a great position for a long, long run. You just secure down inside the boat instead of standing up.
Look, I rode this boat all morning. Let's take a closer look at that console. I got stuff I want to show you about the seating too. One of the features of a flats boat, being able to walk the whole gunnel. You come back here, you start to find some of the features of a bay boat.
Well, what I like about it is we're sitting low in the boat. This boat's capable of running over 70 miles an hour. At that speed, I don't want to be standing up. I want to be down, secure, inside the boat.
I bet your hat blows off at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, it blow off a lot quicker than that, but I tell you what, this boat, it's got a great big pad on the back, much like a bass boat has, so we can handle those kind of speeds. A lot of bay boats out there, they're just not that fast.
And one of the things that makes this boat so fast is as much room as we've got, as wide as the gunnels and everything are, we've got a much smaller wetted surface when this boat's running.
Well, you really do. The boat's just a little bit over 22 feet long, but it's got a huge cockpit. It's got a nice big deck. They've done a great job with the overall cap layout of this boat.
Well, when you get to where you want to be, you're not going to want to stay in these seats as comfortable as they are. We've got an excellent casting platform back here. Let's go take a look at some of the features. Great seating for 4 people, but look how fast we can turn it into a fishing boat. Fold your seats down, take your backrest and cushion off, twin live wells, plenty of room to cast, you're ready to go.
Another thing I love about it is that rear hatch is completely removable, and that way you can get to all of your pumps and everything. So if you need to clear a pump, you need to work on anything, that lifts out of the way. With the backrest off, you can actually kneel on this cushion. Super comfortable to maintain the boat. And then let's face it, the easier you can get to your systems, the better you're going to take care of your boat. And especially in the saltwater environment, that's ultra important. This boat is radically different and named it the Ultimate Bay for a reason. It can go in really skinny water, cross a heavy bay to your next skinny water spot.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This segment brought to you by Birdsall Marine Design. Quality marine and sport fishing products.
Birdsall Marine Design has been a leader in aftermarket and custom boating accessories for over 35 years. Based in West Palm Beach, our facility specializes in the manufacturing of custom T-tops, leaning posts, consoles, rod holders, marine canvas and upholstery products, and a wide variety of anodized aluminum hardware. Come visit our spacious West Palm Beach facility anytime, or visit us on the web at birdsallmarine.com to learn more about our most innovative products.
When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew stayed at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina in Stuart, Florida. Family owned and operated, featuring 50 renovated rooms with an outstanding restaurant and a full-service 50-slip marina. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. This week, we're featuring bay boats in the 20 to 22-foot class.
Blue Wave makes a boat they call the 2200 Pure Bay, and we thought we'd seen it before, but nothing like this model that they brought us today. You know, the first time I saw a poling platform, I thought, man, that thing really looks weird, and then here comes the power poles. That thing really looks weird. Now you look at this riser design, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna say that looks weird too, but wow, the function of the riser is phenomenal.
Well, you know, it started out in Texas, I think, with Sierra Madre and being able to get up and see across those big flats. It's gonna be everywhere. The minute I saw that boat, I thought, that's kind of goofy. The minute I rode on it and looked down from up on the rise, it makes a lot of sense.
That extra height lets you see so much better into the water, it's really hard to compare to anything that has a console down inside the cockpit.
We've talked about it forever, and here's how we'll show it. Every time you come off of that deck a few inches, boy, it increases your visibility so much as to how far you can see and how far down in the water you can see.
Well, the 2200 Pure Bay has a very stable hull, and even with that riser giving you the extra height, the boat still, it's secure. You don't have the feeling that you're going to fall out of the boat.
Oh, I really like it. Let's step aboard and look at some of the stuff that makes it stand out. Whole front area makes sense, Dave. Recessed casting platform with an easy step up, insulated. They all drain overboard. Perfect rod rack on this system. Very good use of space.
Another thing I like about this riser design is we've seen a lot of the bay boats that have the flip-up stern seats. But what they did is Blue Wave took that same design and moved it on the front seat of the console. This is really unique. You can stand on it, you can use it as a little casting platform, but when you flip it up, you've got that same comfortable seat that we've always seen in the rear decks.
Now let's step back and show the stuff I really liked about this.
Once you get up on top of this riser, this elevated position lets you see so much better.
Dave, look at the mullet flying by us that we never saw standing on the deck. How much further you can see, how much deeper. Hey, hold on a minute. Hey, one of you guys down there, would you bring me up a sandwich, please? I feel like I'm on my fly bridge. This is cool.
Well, this riser, it's all hollow underneath too. So think about the amount of storage you pick up on this boat where you can put your PFDs, extra batteries, battery charger, whatever. That's not gonna be subfloor. It's kept dry, but it's easy to get to.
Yeah, and check these seats out. They pivot around, they face backwards, they slide out to the edge. This is a step. I'm gonna tell you, we talk about evolution. This is a step all into itself.
Well, it's new here in Florida. There's no doubt about that. And I know a lot of the Florida guys are gonna look at this boat and go, man, what is that? But you go to Texas, and this is the rage. A lot of the boats there are running these risers, and it's for the same reason. They fish a lot of shallow water. In Texas, it's really funny. People spend a lot of money so they can take a boat and get out and wade.
Listen,
that's what they do.
I understand that, and all that makes sense, but I'm an offshore troller. If I'm gonna go to a boat this big or bigger, I love to be able to look down on my troll baits, see a fish coming to them.
All right, the console's a great design. This is actually the same console they use in just the standard 2200 bait that's normally mounted down on the floor. I'm glad they didn't change that because the ergonomics of it, everything's where it belongs. But when you add this riser and you get this height, the console fits perfect. They even made a little area in the back where you can have a Yeti cooler that stashes underneath these seats so you can get to. Overall, I love the design of this boat.
Right, and then it's still got the Lido deck, if you will. It's still got the rear casting platform. No, I love the design. The height makes it a boat all into its own. Different classification of bay boats than we've seen before.
Well, before we get too far away from this rear casting deck, there is something else I want to show you back here on the rear casting deck. Okay, we've talked about the features that are incorporated in this rear deck on a lot of boats. It's got the flip-up stern seats, it's got the great access to the systems, but this release well that's in the center, the thing I love about it and it stands out, I haven't seen it on any other boat, is that huge, huge drain right in the center.
Okay, what's the function for it? I mean, if you pull it, are your car keys going down the toilet?
If you pull it, your car keys, your cell phone, your wallet, anything in there is gone. What I love about it is those last two baits at the end of the day, you want to let them go. You don't have to chase them around. Just pull it, they're going out.
Gone.
You put a big redfish in there and a crab comes out of his mouth or whatever and it's floating around. Just pull it, it almost cleans itself. I love it. Just don't leave any of the little fish that you catch in there because if you do, they're gone.
But they won't stay in there if you pull the plug out. You also got to think about a weigh-in. You pull into a weigh-in line, pull that plug, that redfish is a whole lot easier to catch now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it may look a little weird to people at first, but if they get on this boat and they experience this riser and the way this boat rides, this 2200 Pure Bay is absolutely fantastic.
20 to 22 foot bay boats are versatile fishing machines with the capability to cross a rough bay comfortably and fish the shallow water flats. You'd be hard-pressed to find another boat that can adapt to changing conditions and locations as well as a bay boat can, and may be the best boat for you.
You know, we've tried to help everyone decide what kind of boat they're going to buy with Best Boat, but when you look at these three boats, the decision process starts all over again because each boat will do exactly what you want it to do. It'll go out and crush the fish on the bay, but the boats are different. They all have a little bit different function to fit your lifestyle.
Depending on what you love to do with your boat, there's a best 22-foot boat in there for you somewhere.
If you want more information on the three boats that you've seen today or all the boats that we've tested in this season of Best Boat, go to our website, floridasportsman.com, go to the boating page and click on the Best Boat link.
Or we'll see you next week on another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
Be sure to join us next week as we look at 30 to 35 foot center consoles on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.